live afterwards, and this guy's a notable Reigns hater. Says that anybody who donates to my show, I will donate to cancer funds or charity. And I just thought, what a cheap little fucking bastard to use that as a plea to come to see his show, to come and donate. I just thought it was really classless, and I just thought it was pretty weak on his part. But it is what it is. That's how he rolls. But seriously, folks, Roman Reigns,
Wow.
he may not ever step in a ring again. Depending on how serious this is and how he can recover from it. Because second time, like I said, comes back even stronger, and it's going to be very like other stuff that I saw on Twitter. It took cancer to get Roman Reigns over.
Wow.
Um, it finally Roman Reigns is over. This some of the worst sickening tweets I saw out there. It was a joke. It's the world that we live in that just makes me sick, man. This guy is battling cancer, went out there, and as much as we may have disliked the way they booked him, he busted his ass every night for us as fans, and who was battling that and probably felt it after certain shows or certain months or whatever have
Oh
you.
yeah.
It's just interesting to see how some people can't just, I don't know, just be human for once and not be so goddamn hatred and have that hatred inside them to tweet stuff like that. Like, what would make you go out there and tweet it took cancer to get Roman Reigns over? Like, seriously. Like, what what in the world made you want and go out there and open your phone and tweet that? It's insane.
I
Like,
mean,
cancer is nothing to mess with. It's not a knee injury where he can come back in 8 months and be back to where he's at. We don't know when we'll see Roman Reigns again.
yeah, I agree with you, and it's pathetic when anyone does anything. Or there's a lot of these wrestling role playing accounts out there too, and I've seen some stuff online where people were pretending, saying all this stuff like it's them going through this stuff like that. Just pisses me off too, and it goes to show you though, it really does that when you see an actor or someone on TV or whatever, you never know what they could be going through in their personal life, and you never do.
Right.
And
And that's
and
what
so much. Yeah, I was just saying sometimes, yeah, we criticize, but it's never personal. I mean, it's nothing personal against Joe, like he said last night. I mean, yeah, it's just we don't. It's not his fault how he's booked or anyone else. I mean, it was funny, not funny, but when we were talking in our chat, I think I said something to Justin. We were talking about something about doing with the Shield, and something about me like possibly hating the Shield. I was like, I don't hate them. I don't hate. I have nothing against them personally. I just don't like how they're booked group right now. But yeah,
you just
it was
hate
before all that.
you hate how they're booked. You're not hate, but
I don't hate the
you're
individuals
sick
themselves.
or tired, or it's just like watching, and Speeds made a good point of it last night. He was touching on, certain TV shows when you don't like what you're watching. But see, the thing was with TV shows and Raw, it's like it's hard to not watch Raw because there's so much on Raw that if you turn off Raw in itself, you're missing maybe something that you like, because you may not like the way Roman Reigns is being booked, but you may like other things on the show. So you may not want to turn off Raw just because you don't like one thing on the show. But it just seems like people get so upset with with things with Roman Reigns that they can't take a break from that hatred towards him for for whatever reason, and just wish the man well for once. And like Speed said, why do you have to open up your tweet saying, I never liked the guy, but la 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 la, or I never really dig this character, but it just
It's funny you
say
say that because I almost tweeted something like that. It was like, well, you know what? I never liked the guy, the character, but respect the man and I hope he recovers. I almost tweeted something like that out actually last night. Like, hey,
right.
I
And
never really
no,
liked him,
yeah, nobody wishes any ill harm At least I hope I hope not. Any ill harm on any wrestlers these days. It's just sad that people like that the cancer getting over that made me want to throw up. That or when I tweeted out that stuff about my son, someone put in a comment put what Roman Reigns is fake, but and what your son had is real. Like really? Seriously?
Some people can't separate it. Honestly, there's a lot
God
of people
damn.
out there who can't separate what's going on in wrestling to it being real and it being stage or what. They can't separate it. There's a lot of people out there who separates fact from reality. They can't. But I mean, man, it really sucks to open the show like that for Raw last night because I wasn't watching it live, but I even started feeling really like bad and really upset for him because it's like, man, you feel bad for someone have that happen to them, and to open up Raw like that, I can't imagine trying to watch it and try to like focus on the
Yeah,
rest of the
definitely
show.
after that comment, um, in the chat room, please be honest. How many of you just weren't interested in Raw after that? I think after that comment or announcement or that whole segment, it put a whole damper on Raw. It just made me kind of sit there and it makes you think of how precious life is. You hear this all the time that life hits you fast, and it takes some things like this to show you how valuable life is and how crazy of a turn things can take. And it's sad that it took that to make me realize that, but
Yeah.
it's just crazy to think that this guy last week was wrestling a match perfectly fine, and this week he announces that he has leukemia and has to drop the title.
Well, I'm sure he knew before a while. You know, he probably knew something was up. So yeah, something must have happened recently, where because I'm sure he's known for a little bit something's going on. But yeah, I mean, it sucks because you really look at something different when you find out what someone's been going through and you didn't know about it. So it makes you look at their circumstances a lot different. Maybe even have sympathy for them. I know he said he was looking for sympathy, but that's what it does.
Now, here's my question for you guys: would it have been poor taste by WWE if they would have waited for the announcement to do it maybe in the second or third hour, or do you think the first hour opening up Raw was the right thing to do?
I almost don't know. I almost think, in a way, maybe they should have waited, but maybe what he's going through, he just didn't want to be there. He just wanted to get it done and over with. I know I heard that he didn't. I'm not. I'm surprised because it almost. I can see if some people want to criticize WWE for having Roman Reigns go out there and do this because it seems like they're trying to kind of take advantage of the situation a little bit by them putting first thing that you see on Raw is something about Roman Reigns. They're talking about it all night and on SmackDown as well. It's like they're trying to capitalize on his illness in a way, by I'm not saying I guess that would be the
Well,
word
see,
capitalize.
what they did come out with um, a press release, and they said that Roman is going to be an advocate for this and
Yeah,
try
I've
to
seen.
be to draw awareness of this and try to donate and get funds donated to the charity for leukemia and cancer foundations and stuff like that. So maybe that was a way for him to go out there, make the announcement, get it out there online. All the websites, all the social media accounts are going to pick it up, and that's exactly what happened. I mean, right after the announcement, I mean, the tweets and all that were just pouring in, and it was probably not the best way to start your show off, but I don't think it ruined the show at all. I'm reading the chat, architect. It just takes me a few minutes to get to it. Let's see. Let's get to the chat. Opening up says Jeffrey Cross had to get it out of the way early. Bobby said, "Yep, I could barely watch, barely watch after that. Plus, after that, all the social media posts started to hit me. Maybe close the show," says Justin. Olive says it was right. Can't do it at the end, says Mitch. Speed says it needed to be first to show it was the top priority.
Yeah.
Uh, let's see. Todor says he probably wanted to get it done so he could leave and start his treatment right away. Thank you, Bob Aruski, who has been monitoring the chat and getting all these trolls and porn bots out of here. So props to Bobaruski. I think I've seen him mute like 15 people already. So appreciate you on the ball tonight, Bobaruski. Thank you for that. Um, so after that, we had a nice little moment to with the shield at the top of the stage. You see it right there on the screen where they put their fists together, and people, that's probably the last time we'll ever see the shield together because
Now, let me ask you this, because after what happened last night at the end, when you see Rollins like that on stage, do you think that's real, or is that part of the show and that they're trying to capitalize on the situation, and then where Rollins maybe his head isn't in the game all the way throughout the whole night? And do you think that was legit tears and legit being
I
upset?
think that was legit, man. That's
Okay, I was
I
just
I
saying
just
because
I know what you're saying. Like I get what you're saying. Like have him get that sympathy, play that little sympathy card towards him. But I know what you're meaning, but I just don't think it's I don't think that was fake. I think that was all 100% tears right there. Yes, Architect, you also are a moderator in here, and Bobaruski. Yeah, so there's like three or four moderators in here for you guys to lock down the chat room, get those porn bots out of here, and them trolls as well. So yes, at the top of the stage, we got the Shield reuniting, possibly for the last time. Because let's just jump right into it, folks. Because I don't think there's other much to talk about Raw. Just a couple of things other than what the big announcement was. But let's get to the heel turn, folks. The heel turn of the ages, which was Dean Ambrose turning on Seth Rollins in probably the most unique fashion I have seen in quite some time. Let's set this up for you guys. It was announced earlier on Raw that it was going to be the Shield taking on Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler for the for the Raw tag team titles, and it was going to be the main event of Raw. Earlier in the show, Paul Heyman came out, did a little bit of a promo trying to get you guys hyped up for um, Crown Jewel because they announced that it was going to be Brock Lesnar facing Braun Strowman now for the vacant Universal Championship. Excuse me. So he was hyping up Brock Lesnar, which brought Braun Strowman down. And Drew McIntyre attacked Braun Strowman from behind. So I'm in my mind, I'm thinking Strowman's gonna cost McIntyre and Rollins the tag team titles. And well, pretty much that was what happened. Strowman came down, gets involved, and pretty much helps Ambrose and Rollins win the tag team titles. But it was what happened afterwards, which is the news, everybody. Ambrose and Rollins kind of celebrating together. And that's when we saw the dirty deeds done on Rollins, almost on the belt. It was almost perfectly placed, almost on the belt. And Dean Ambrose just snapped afterwards, just beating him down, did the dirty deeds on the concrete, and storms off into the crowd. I mean, the crowd was silent. They were, why, Dean? Why? I mean, people were cussing at him because USA was bleeping out the cuss words. It was a pretty intense moment. I haven't seen that type of a heel turn on Raw in quite some time. I can't even remember the last time we saw a full, legit heat heel turn, because usually when heels turn, they kind of get cheered for the most part when a guy does turn. You know, when Rollins turned on the Shield, I can't remember if he got 100% boos. He may have gotten some cheers. I can't remember. You guys can let me know on that. But maybe that was the last time we saw a pretty huge heel turn on Raw. But that was excellently executed. It was very bold for them to do, but I think it was the right time to do it. What was your thoughts, Dave?
I was surprised. I mean, I really was. After I heard about it and then I went and watched it again, I was like, wow. I mean, just how it all came about. I was like, I can't believe they actually did this on this. Even we talked and people tweeted about, like, there's no way they break up Rollins and Ambrose. No, there's no way they do it. But they did it, I guess, for just that no one will see this coming type thing. And no one did. And it was shocking. I don't know, people think they're going to boo Ambrose. I don't. I just don't see it. I think people are going to be cheering him because everyone's been calling for Ambrose to turn heel for so long.
Yeah, exactly. Speed Spits. Remember
It's
when Neville turned? Crowd broke out. Thank you, Neville. Yeah, it's usually when people turn, fans love it. They that's what they're craving for. That there's certain wrestlers turning heel finally. John Cena, Roman Reigns, just to name a few guys that people have been pleading and begging for them to turn heel.
yeah,
And
but you
Dean
can't really.
Ambrose, I think everybody was waiting for this heel turn, right? Everybody
Yeah,
was hoping for this heel turn. Everybody was hoping for Dean Ambrose to turn on the Shield. He does it, and he's hated.
yeah. I mean, and some people, and I said this too. I mean, Rollins kind of deserved it. He did. I mean, he did this to them, so why not do the same to him? You can your all buddy buddy again, and then give him the same treatment.
Let's see. Let's go back into the chat. They did to change things up with the storyline and everything with Roman Reigns is being gone now.
Yeah,
Maybe it was more felt because of the Roman announcement. Says Jody, Roman had to be like, do it too. I wonder if they gave him the option to have it happen another week. I think he gets booed. Yeah, okay. I see Brandon After's point on that. I heard Dean was supposed to turn heel at Survivor Series. Um, Crowd and concourse were booing him, yelling, "Why now? Why now?" Yeah. See, now here's the thing. Will this heat continue on? Do you think he gets booed next week, or do you think he gets cheered?
where are they at next week? Any
I have
idea?
no idea.
Okay, I think it just depends on the town too, but I think the hardcore wrestling fans, if it's a hardcore wrestling town, like a good wrestling town, I think they'll be cheering. I mean, maybe those average WWE wrestling towns, you might not get like those great reactions, but I just if they boo him, I'll be shocked. But I think Dean Ambrose is going to be getting cheers mixture anyway because people want Ambrose to turn heel. I mean, when this first started back in the original Shield days, everyone thought Ambrose was going to be the one who turned. I mean, am I looking forward to seeing where it goes?
Damn
Sure,
speed.
but am I looking forward to another Rollins Ambrose feud? Not particularly, but it is what it is.
Now they are
Hey,
tag
the
team
titles.
champions,
Yeah,
so how are they going to play this off?
I say
My
give Dean the titles.
my guess is Baron is going to make them defend it.
Yeah.
He's going to make them defend those titles. And now the real question is, how do they work that match and who do they face? Because landscape is wide freaking open right now on Raw. With Roman Reigns, this with them being out, the the landscape of the WWE is absolutely wide open. I mean, anybody could be champion right now, honestly. And
Yeah.
it just depends on who's at excuse me, next up and comer that can take that brass ring, everybody, and take
It's really
control.
interesting. I think it's interesting to see which way they want to go with this. If they want to have it be kind of like, I don't know, I guess who would be the most recent team like this? I guess if you want to say Shawn Michaels and Austin, or like a Benoit and Angle when they were all tag champions, they just did not like each other and they're always
Right.
fighting each other. So I mean, if you wanted to go that route and have them be champions still, you could, or have them battle out for the tag titles. We've seen that before too. And whoever wins gets to choose a new partner and be the tag champions.
Yeah, I
Or
think that happened on the WCW, if I'm not
we've
mistaken.
done that before, yeah. But I
So,
mean, it's really interesting to see what you want to do with that because they could have, say, you got to defend the titles next week against Drew and Ziggler again, and Ambrose just doesn't show up. Something like that.
uh, Speed says the real question is how soon can they get the revival in there to get those titles? Yeah, I mean, I would rather see them win it than Drew and Ziggler. Um, it seems like Ziggler and McIntyre might be breaking up, kind of getting some more heat between the two, and I'm sure it's going to peak up um, next week on Raw when they, have the fallout of them losing the titles. It's 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 going to be interesting to see what happens next week on Raw. I'm definitely intrigued.
It's gonna be hard too. I mean, I know a lot of it's gonna sound really bad because a lot of us have hated on Roman for so long, but Roman Reigns and a lot of us want him gone off TV. Well, now he's gonna be gone off TV. How much is that gonna change Monday nights without a Roman Reigns on there each week? Because he's been there consistently. every week.
Oh, that's a good point, Speeds. Sheamus and Sheamus hated each other at one point as well. That's a good point. Um, Brandon Apter says AOP for the tag team. McIntyre versus Strowman for the Universal title coming down the road. Absolutely. Revival would be booked to take a squash from a
Yeah,
handicapped Rollins. Then probably. So now with Roman gone, who is the guy now?
I guess Rollins again. Rollins or Ambrose would probably be the guy now.
Who is the guy? It's okay. Now here's the question. Now, does Brock win the title back?
That is a great. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me at all. It really wouldn't. You know what? Another thing I didn't like about last night. I'm not trying to be a downer on, even though it's been kind of a downer show, but man, all of a sudden, Strowman's a face again. I mean, that's just like throwing me off like completely. Oh, Strowman's a good guy now.
Yeah, I think they have to give the ball to Strowman just to see how he can do. Give the man a chance, see if he can draw interest. And there's a lot of feuds that, we want to see Strowman have. One of them is McIntyre. And shit, if you want to have Strowman be the guy that McIntyre finally beats, let it be. Like, I want to. Oh, is Brennan After trying to call into the show? Are you trying to call in Brennan After? Braun is the guy until Roman come back. Many people were saying Elias could be the top guy to take. Oh, that's right. We forgot to mention about Elias.
Oh yeah, we'll get
And
there.
it's
Sure.
so Strowman was always liked, though. That is very true as well. So Roman Reigns also came out with a little bit of a statement today saying, "Thank you to everyone who's reached out. I can't put into words what it means to me. Your energy and positivity motivate me to get better quickly, to get back into the ring. But for now, I'm going to spend time with my family and focus on health." So, yeah, it's going to be interesting and different to see no Roman Reigns on Raw. And it's going to be interesting to see what they do with Dean Ambrose going forward, also with Seth Rollins. But let's touch on Elias, because Elias last night came out, was going to play a song. He gets interrupted by Apollo Crews and ends up being a match between the two. And I'm telling you guys, Apollo Crews is another guy that, yeah, man, what a waste of talent on Raw and in the WWE. This guy was brought up way too early and has not been given any type of opportunity or even of a slight of a chance on Raw. I'm not sure how much this guy weighs, but I'm sure it's way over 205. But god damn it, get this guy on 205 Live somehow. But after the match, Elias tries to do another concert for the fans, and that's when Baron Corbin interrupts him. Corbin says it's his job to keep the show going. Corbin says that we don't have time. Elias says Stephanie wants to hear the performance, and so does these people. Corbin says that there are more important things at hand. Says if Stephanie didn't like Elias, he'd fire him. Tells him to get off the stage. Says while Corbin was talking, he was writing a song in his head, and tells Corbin to shut his mouth while he plays this song. Elias sings insulting Corbin, and Corbin yells to cut off his mic, and they cut his mic off, and that's when he tells him to get off his stage. And Elias was about to leave, comes back out and whacks the shit out of Baron Corbin with the guitar. And they had such a great slow motion replay of it where he hits him with the guitar in the back. It was perfect. And I guess this is establishing Elias as a face. And I got to give it to Baron Corbin, man. I was very hard on Baron Corbin when he was announced as Constable Corbin. But he's been doing a fantastic job as general manager. He's been doing a very good job at being that asshole. And it's just being a good GM. I actually enjoy him more than Kurt Angle, to be honest with you. Your thoughts on this, Dave? And can Elias be a top face in the WWE?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I think we all know Vince likes him, so it's very possible. And I was like, they're all over the. I mean, I don't know. Raw last night was kind of all over the place with this stuff because it's like all of a sudden Strowman's a face now, and now all of a sudden Elias is a face too. So it's like they're top heels, and Elias was getting some great heat, and so was Strowman to a point too. But it's like everything went kind of wacky. They turned Ambrose heel, but then they turned two guys' faces for the trade off. It was weird, but I
Yeah,
mean, it was a cool little shot, and heck, and yeah, I think he could get over big as a face. I mean, because the crowd popped big for him when he did that. So yeah, I can see that.
yeah, he's such a great heel. I'm curious to see how he's going to transition his songs. I guess maybe he talks about his opponent instead about the town he's facing.
Yeah, 'cause it
Is
was
in.
so good. I mean, the heel reaction he was getting was so good, and I almost think it's a mistake to turn Elias
I'm
into
so
face.
upset it prevented the the Mahal monitor. That's funny. Um, but yeah, I'm curious to see what happens with that, and it's going to be interesting. Now we got another contract signing between Ronda Rousey and Nikki Bella, and I mentioned this last night on Twitter that they're trying to bring the heat to this feud that they're doing with Charlotte and Becky, and it's not working. Sure, last week's promo got you kind of like, oh, okay, they're throwing shots at one another. This week, luckily, they weren't in another Iverson city that he's played for, because I'm sure we would have saw a lot of practice on that other promo between Trish Stratus and Lita later on in the night. But what did you think of this? Because it just I'm interested in the match,
That's one of the. That's
but
one.
I'm not too interested in how they've been playing it up.
I just think they thought this match would be a lot bigger than it is, and they said ticket sales did go up when this match was announced. So there's that. But to me, this, like you said it perfectly. This match does not have that big fight feel. Like, oh, I can't wait to see Ronda versus Nikki Bella. I mean, I don't think everyone would ever say that. To me, the main match that has the most heat, like you already said, and the most anticipated, I think, one of them, even though we've wrestled a few times already, but Becky and Charlotte, to me, is still the match, the marquee match on that card right now, even though they're going to say
Absolutely.
it's Ronda Rousey. But
Absolutely.
but Ronda Rousey and Nikki Bella just doesn't create no interest for me at all. And like a lot of people, it
Botch.
doesn't. I'm sure.
Yeah, botch mode city. I can't. I'm not. I'm just interested to see how that match goes and how the fans react to it. Because come on, we can all be honest. Be honest with everybody. This match should not be the main event of Evolution. Right now, the match that should main event Evolution should be Becky Lynch and Charlotte. Becky Lynch and Charlotte has the most heat, the most, I don't know, it just got the most fire power behind it right now. And it's the last women standing match, the first ever at it. And it just seems like it should be the main event. But of course, Ronda
Yeah,
Rousey, her name alone, she has the main event.
yeah, they're not even getting the same time in the ring that Rousey and Nikki Bella are getting on Raw. I mean, they didn't even get on SmackDown live tonight. I mean, they had some recorded segments, and that was it. So I mean, and they're doing the best of what they're given, and they're killing it. I mean, they're killing it without even really being there, and people want to see this match more. And Nikki and Ronda, it's like no one cares, and they do, at least I don't know about no one does. I'm sure some people do, but I don't care about this match at all.
Now, does anybody know is Evolution? I haven't looked it up on the network or on the. I don't know if this is on pay per view or if this is just on the network. Is it a 3 hour show? Is it a 2 hour show? Have
I did
they
see tonight that it said it starts at 7 Eastern.
7 Eastern? So it starts an hour earlier than usual.
Well, that's how they all start now at 7.
Oh, that's right. So if it starts at 7 Eastern, this is going to be a 4 hour pay per view.
If I don't know if it can go that long, honestly, I don't. I think it
Well,
might be NXT type, where it might start at this time, but
I
it's gonna.
hope, golly Jesus, and Rousey has fallen in interest for me by a lot. And after was a huge Rousey fan. Her mic skills have gotten worse. Yes, Reigns has leukemia. Yes, you've read that right. You already touched on it in length already. So if you want to hear about that, you can go back and watch the replay if you don't mind. DX said, "I heard it's a 3 hour and 30 minute show."
I can see that. I hope not. Does that mean the battle royal is going to be like 20 minutes? Jeez.
Speed says it's 3 hours. So at least hopefully the last woman standing match at least will get
like 20 minutes at
At
least.
least a good amount of time. Let's see. All right, we had Triple H and Shawn Michaels out there, and as much as I love Shawn Michaels, I have no interest in this fucking match.
Oh,
I don't, man. I don't care about these guys in a
I liked what they were saying,
graveyard.
though. You know, I liked what Shawn and Triple H. It didn't really seem like it was a promo on Undertaker and Kane. It seemed like it was a promo on the guys in the back. That's what it seemed like. Oh, nostalgia! This we're too old. We shouldn't be here, but yet we're out here
Do they
doing
have to
all the.
be DX though?
I know old X or something, but
Like I
yeah,
don't- that just to me they're just not the same DX they once were. Like they couldn't just be Shawn and Triple H taking
they're gonna start
on
saying
Undertaker and Kane, just them two. Like it had to be the Brothers of Destruction taking on DX. Um, just I don't know, man. I'm just not interested in it at all.
I don't. I
At
kind of
all.
enjoyed the promo because how they were saying talking about all that stuff, and it seemed like it was more shots at the back. And then they talked about how they're the ones running NXT and all that. So yeah, I mean,
Mm.
I don't really care about the match either, and that's another pay per view a couple weeks away. But
Oh, I
yeah,
know DX. I know it's a merchandise play. DX sells. I understand that, and even I like the shirt, and even kind of contemplating on buying it. But it
yeah, it's
just
a cool looking
don't.
shirt.
DMS DX makes zero sense. The whole point of
Yeah, but
DX was to
for him,
defy it. Yeah, yeah, exactly. 40 and 50 plus year old doing the dock chop, the crotch chops. Exactly. Like, come on, man. It's just like, come on. Like, Shawn Michaels, as much as I love the dude, sitting there and saying, we're not going to back down from no challenge. And I'm like, dude, this guy is 50 years old already. Like, how am I supposed to take him serious? It's just hard. It's hard to take him serious. That's all. And
I
I'm a
mean,
big Shawn Michaels guy. You guys know that.
yeah, it's very strange, especially even before DX. When you look at Triple H, I mean, he was anti-authority his whole career basically before he came to the authority. But I mean, it was just I don't know. It was strange too, but yeah, that we get these all these 50, and it was I was kind of like surprised when he started talking about Kane being mayor and all that. I was like, okay,
He's trying to take digs, trying to get this stuff like more interesting, and it's not. It's just not. So Finn Balor took on Bobby Lashley last night. Only
oh
thing I got
god.
out of this is that Balor won, and that maybe this feud's going to continue.
And maybe Balor's gonna get pushed better for 2019.
Like you know what? All I could think of during this match, and Bobby Roode tweeted it out as well. I want to see Finn Balor take on Leo Rush. I want to see that match on 205 Live. So let's do our best, everybody, to get Finn Balor to 205 Live because, goodness gracious, people, we could see some unbelievable matches with Finn Balor on 205 Live.
Then you're gonna start the hashtag Balor for
I'm going to try to get this man moved to 205 Live. I just think that would be a better career move for the man, and I think it'll help dramatically for him. He'd probably win the championship, definitely. Let's try to get that going. They also announced Sasha Banks, Bailey, and Natalia will take on the Riot Squad at Evolution. Any thoughts on that?
I don't care about this match either.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough.
What about you?
No, I don't. I think these women should be in the battle royal for a shot to win the championship. How's the mayor job doing, by the way? How's Knoxville feel about their mayor saying he's going to end people? Right. I don't know if he might want to worry more about his mayor job than worrying about Tombstone and Shawn Michaels. Just saying. Hey, what's up, Budweiser? Again, thank you everybody for JT. That's funny. Thank you everybody for joining us again tonight. This is Get the Tables podcast. We're live every Tuesdays and Saturdays. Don't forget, everybody, there's no more Thursday night shows because Pop decided to give us a big FU and move Impact a whopping 2 hours later now. So instead of starting at the usual 8 Eastern, it's starting at 10 Eastern. So it's now considered Impact After Dark, whatever the hell that's supposed to mean. So there will be no more Thursday night show. So we're going to miss it very, very much. But everything that we used to touch on Thursday, we're going to move it to our Saturday night show. I put a poll out and I put 3 different times on people when people would like our show to be at, and the most votes was 10 Eastern. So no, I'm sorry, 9 Eastern. So starting this Saturday evening, we'll be starting to go a little bit earlier, if not 9 Eastern, about 9:30 Eastern. So look for us then live on Saturday. Speeds put in the chat, how did Sasha Bailey go from killing it in NXT to basically doing nothing? That's what I've been asking myself for the last.
They went to the main roster.
Just
That's
remember,
how.
everybody, they're supposed to wrestle at SummerSlam. Just remember that. So maybe next SummerSlam. Um, yeah, yeah. Maybe
Well,
next Speeds. You need to get your mind out of the gutter, my brother. Yeah. Yeah.
weren't they
Maybe
in
next
LA?
summer.
So
No,
would it make more sense to do WrestleMania since it's in New York?
is it in New York or is it in LA next year? I thought it was in. They're moving it.
SummerSlam's in LA next year. Or is that Survivor Series
I
this
think
year? I don't know.
it's. I don't remember. Let's see. Anything else to touch on with Raw? Let's see. Am I missing anything, Dave? I don't think I
Uh,
am.
other than the Hall of Famers getting beat up, I guess. But other than that,
Yeah. No, I mean, I honestly, people just
I mean, we talked about
I think
the event.
last night's Raw was all about the announcement about Roman Reigns and the cancer. It's in New Jersey or New York, so it's in Brooklyn. It's in Brooklyn, I'm assuming. Survivor Series is in LA this year.
Oh, okay.
What does LA and New York not get every year? You know, do they always have to go to all the awesome pay-per-views?
All
That's my
those Fox
question.
executives. Come on, this is all about the Fox
LA
deal.
either gets SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
geez,
because
man.
let's be real. It's because ESPN is in New York, Fox is in LA. That's what they're doing. They're playing to their big people. I mean, seriously, that's what they're doing. It seems
Yeah,
like.
Trish Stratus looked fantastic last night, along with Mickey James. Alicia Fox, man, she looked like a goddamn giant. Like, what was going on there? Did you see that?
Yeah,
She looked. It was pretty funny. LA hasn't had Mania, had they? But they're going to, Bob Reese. Getting very once that new stadium is built, they're getting a WrestleMania. So
they had WrestleMania before. They had WrestleMania Goes Hollywood with all those.
they've had it before, but not in a while. But they're getting it again. What do they not get? NBA. Oh, hey, I like that speech. That was a good one. Um, I just, I don't know, man. It's just weird to see what happened last night and try to critique Raw because I don't think we really can. But if you want to try to critique it and give it a rating for last night, what would you give Raw
Well,
last
yeah,
night?
we didn't talk about the Paul Heyman stuff.
Oh yeah. Paul Heyman um, went out there, kind of put over Roman Reigns, and then hyped up Crown Jewel between Brock Lesnar and Braun Strowman. What did you think about all that?
Like I told you before we went on there, I didn't like it because I didn't like how he transitioned from Roman Reigns and then go straight to but Brock Lesnar's going to be the champion you want because Braun Strowman can't beat him and all that. The same old stuff we've heard Heyman say about Reigns and about other people, like, you can't beat him and all that. I just didn't like how he went from praising and giving condolences to Reigns to right into a storyline. They didn't even need Paul Heyman to be out there. They didn't need this to happen last night. And yes, I think we all seen the video behind the scenes where Heyman was hugging Roman and all that. And that's all great. But I just don't like that they turned it into a storyline. That kind of sat with me the wrong way. It was like, do they really need to do this tonight? Could they have waited a week?
Yes, I feel you on that. If Alexa needs some healing, let me know. I'll take care of her. Yeah, because there is news that Alexa Bliss. Here it is right now. We usually don't touch about all this stuff on our Tuesday night show, but since it's dealing with the Raw and Alexa Bliss, we will. Everybody's favorite Dave Meltzer is reporting that Alexa Bliss suffered a concussion during this past Saturday night's WWE live event. It was previously reported that Bliss also missed Sunday night's WWE Super Show in Boston. She had previously been out of action due to an arm injury. However, she returned during Friday's WWE live event in Maine. The concussion to Bliss occurred during the Saturday night event where Bliss and Mickie James faced Nia and Raw Women's Champion Ronda Rousey. Bliss is currently scheduled to team with Mickie. The report from the Wrestling Observer further notes that WWE has not confirmed that Bliss suffered a concussion. However, Bliss was notably absent from tonight's Raw, which she was. She wasn't on there. And apparently, there's already a replacement
Was
in line.
she wasn't involved in that beatdown on Trish and Lita?
No, it was Alicia Fox and Mickie James.
Oh, I thought it was Alexa Bliss too, man. I just thought I seen 3. Oh, okay.
So yeah. So all right. Let's see Roman Strowman getting booed. Strowman getting booted by McIntyre, Dean Hilton, Elias Corbin. Good overall. Yeah, I think so. Hasn't Ronda injured her twice now? Yes, seemingly. If it was Ronda, we're not sure if it was her to give her the concussion.
Well, she's been wrestling. I think she's been wrestling Ronda at all the live events.
Well, it was a tag match. It said it was a tag match.
Oh, okay.
So we're not sure if it was her or not, but odds it may have. What would you give Raw last night after the huge, bombshell that we got at the beginning of Raw?
I mean, it was hard to watch. I mean, so that to me, it really took a lot of weight out of the show, and it really took the air out of Raw because people would really watch it. I mean, it was hard to focus. And I mean, what I watched Raw, I mean, I thought it was good from what I've seen. Some of the stuff, it was a pretty good Raw, especially at the end. We got a really good and surprising heel turn from Dean. I'll give it a 3.5.
Yeah, I give it a 4. I really enjoyed the Dean Ambrose tail turn. That was, like I said earlier, it was a bold move, but it was the perfect move to do on that night. Now,
yeah,
he shouldn't get cheered. He should be booed. He should be a established heel. He shouldn't get any cheers, especially how he did that last night on that type of a stage where Roman Reigns came out and did that type of announcement. So props to WWE to go out there and actually go outside the box there.
Yeah, well, someone just said, and I agree with them. It really was depressing. The show, it turned the show really depressing and hard to watch it because I think a lot of us who were sitting there watching, you're on your phone looking at all the comments, and there was an outpouring for not just WE people, but the wrestling promotions all over, sending out prayers and good thoughts to Roman Reigns. There was wrestlers from all over.
Yeah, absolutely. And for the people that said it was a work or it took cancer to get Roman Reigns over or said anything like that, can go fuck off. And I hope nothing like that happens to you or your family, because I don't think you would like someone to say that to you or about your family member. So next time you're going to tweet something really bad, just you might want to rethink it sometimes, because yeah, man, that was just sickening last night. So yeah, Kurt Angle last night reading off a teleprompter. That was fucking horrible. Let's move to SmackDown Live, because I kind of want to rant a little bit about SmackDown Live before we get to the ending of tonight's show. Yeah, SmackDown Live, it's your last show before WWE Evolution, and they shit the bed, man. They literally shit the bed, because they did no justice for WWE Evolution, and now we're supposed to be hyped for this show this Sunday night. Like, how we're over one particular feud, we're supposed to be interested in the whole show. We got the Charlotte and Becky Lynch segment where they attacked each other she attacked Charlotte at the Performance Center, where she was doing a
Q&A,
like a Q&A type of thing with the NXT women's talent. And then we get some type of a fucking battle. I don't even know what the hell that was, between all the women on the show. And we have Carmella coming out there and say, what's going to make this better? A dance break. And you have it just, what the fuck was that? Like, it was a joke. Like, and I'm not here to be negative towards that, but like the injustice they did, and I know it's women's rev evolution, and I know a lot of people don't give a shit about this pay per view, and I know a lot of people don't give a shit about it in general. But come on, man, they could have done a little bit of a better job booking and hyping up this show. Because if honestly, if I didn't do this podcast and we didn't do weekly post shows on a Sunday night for pay per views, I would probably not watch this show. To be honest with you, because there's only really one match I'm really looking forward to. The other ones, sure.
Well, there's one other match that we can't really
How many
talk about
matches
yet.
on? How many? Let me go look up real quick. I want to
Because
know
there's a
how
Mae
many.
Young.
I want to know how many matches are actually on this card.
Because I know we also got that Mae Young finals, and there's supposed to be. And you're gonna get spoiled if you look at it, but I believe there's supposed to be another women's match on that card.
Okay,
And I'm not
yeah,
talking about the Mae
it's
Young final.
I'm not looking at. Okay, we got the single. We got the Raw Women's Championship, SmackDown Women's Champion, NXT Women's Champion. Especially apparently there's an NXT UK Women's Championship match.
Talking about, yeah.
2018 Mae Young Classic Tournament Final match, tag team match, which was with the Bliss and Mickey James, and then we got the Battle Royal, and then there's a 6-woman tag match. So 8 matches so far. I didn't even know there was 8 matches. I thought there was like 4. That's crazy. What's dumb? She was doing a QA with the alleged newcomers, but Shayna Baszler was there. Yeah, I didn't like that. Did you?
It was
I didn't
weird.
like that. I didn't like that.
Now, I think the only point of that is because who else was standing there too with Shayna? She was standing there with her friends, probably talking, and they had Charlotte come in and do this segment, and that's what it was. And it was funny when Becky was doing her little promo, I guess you want to call it, and it's right next to Shayna. She's like standing right next to her as she's saying all that stuff, and it's just like it's weird because yeah. But Strong's wife was right there too, so it's like they were. I don't know. Maybe you could say she was visiting with her friends, and they just happened. This all happened like that. But yeah, it was weird to have Shayna just standing there with the newcomers for some reason. But it was probably by accident, I think.
I don't think we're going to see women's tag team titles, at least not on this show. That's for sure. Um, but yeah, I think they've done a real poor job with WWE Evolution. We will be still doing a post show after Evolution goes off air on Sunday night, so look for us to be live right afterwards. We'll also be live tweeting it as well. It's just I'm not really too excited for it, and it's mostly WWE's fault. They did a poor ass booking job on this, and honestly, SmackDown has really nothing going on right now. And I cannot wait till these damn specials are over with so SmackDown and Raw can start heating up again because they're all so worried about these specials. They haven't really done any other new feuds or build up on anything else. So hopefully once they get past Crown Jewel, we can move on to fresh and new stuff going on SmackDown Live on a weekly basis because I'm getting kind of sick and tired of what we're getting on SmackDown Live, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and they did no justice to these women tonight at all. I mean, because they had some. I thought, okay, we're gonna see Asuka and Naomi have a tag match. Okay, at least they're giving them one match. But no, that didn't even turn into anything. It was just like they didn't do nothing. I mean, you have your women only pay per view. Your biggest event, one of the bigger pay per views for WWE because they're actually giving the women their own show, and they did nothing to help showcase the women's division on SmackDown tonight. Like they could have given you a couple women's matches if they wanted to. Look, I get it's a 2 hour show and the way it's booked and all that, but man, they could have done them a lot better because it seemed like we're back in the Divas era all over again.
Yeah, and you have Shane McMahon just show up out of nowhere and hypes up the World Cup, which is like fucking 2 weeks away. Instead of hyping up WWE Evolution, he mentions it, but doesn't hype it up. Doesn't mention Charlotte. I mean, he may have, but he doesn't really go into detail about Charlotte and Becky. Doesn't touch on the women's battle royal, which could be a title shot in the future. Doesn't touch on Ronda Rousey. Doesn't touch on Lita and Trish. Doesn't touch on anything. I don't care if they're on the Raw brand. Fucking touch on it because it's on Sunday night. Other than maybe 3 matches, I don't know what the hell is going on Evolution. You're like, come on, like, do your.
I mean, yeah. I mean, to be fair though, that is next week, next Friday, I believe.
Yeah, but still, man, they could have like
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it sucks because they really did them no justice tonight.
comes
I
out
mean,
there and says, and like it made me laugh because it's taking a battle royal to figure out who's the best in the world. Really, Shane?
mm-mm.
Because that battle royal is gonna figure out who's the best in the world because there's guys that deserve to be called best in the world in that match, right?
I don't think it's in the battle royal. I think it's. Oh, you want that tournament?
Yes.
And then that little the fans chanting, of course, everyone's favorite, CM Punk.
Yeah, the CM Punk chant, but I mean, and to be honest with you, he had that coming. He had that coming. He set
I
the crowd up for that. When he said who's the best in the world, I mean, come on.
I like his reaction though. Was perfect. He's just like, I don't think he's in that tournament.
Yeah, so uh, uh, to me, SmackDown kind of was a throwaway show. We had Randy Orton versus Jeff Hardy was a solid main event, but other than that, SmackDown Live
See,
to me, nothing. I may be the minority on this. I was not very much interested. I like the Miz and Mysterio
yeah,
match,
I did
but
too.
other than that, SmackDown Live was kind of like, bleh.
See, I didn't mind it so much. I thought it was a solid, better than last week for wrestling wise. But I mean, just overall show probably not as good as last week because it was a special episode. But I mean, I didn't mind the Big Show segment with that whole open how they're making them like a team now. To me, this is what I took out of that. Since we lost the Shield versus Strowman and Ziggler and Drew, is this going to turn into that now, where there's going to be New Day versus the Bar and Big Show and 6-man tag matches every week now?
Oh gosh, I don't. They did announce that the New Day takes the bar on at Crown Jewel, so I mean, we'll see what happens after that match, if the feud
Yeah, we've seen
continues.
more
But
stuff, which is another thing to talk about bad about SmackDown. We see more stuff tonight for Crown Jewel, and we also seen AJ and Daniel Bryan take on the Usos again. I
mhm.
mean, we've seen more stuff get built for Crown Jewel tonight than we did at all for the Women's Evolution this weekend.
Right, and I mean, if, and on all, and to be honest with you, the Usos should be getting in line for a world title match because,
Or at least the tag title
yeah,
match.
right. See, they're defeating AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan twice, 2 weeks in a row.
You gotta
Um,
love them out there tonight though, because they were out there doing Roman's little.
yeah, paying tribute to Roman Reigns with the
Yeah,
when
it
he
was
did the
cool.
splash, he did the whole the clock of the wrist thing. So that was pretty nice.
Yes,
Rusev and
Roman.
Aiden English finally had a match.
Yeah, was that a match though?
I mean, it was. I mean, who DX said it. So is Rusev and Aiden feud done now? I mean, I don't even fucking know.
I guess we're gonna get new Aiden shirts now because I think it's because he said Aiden Knight and he was kind of like covered his shirt up a little bit. Like, oh, maybe I thought
Too
about
sweet,
that.
Daniel. He'll turn 2019 incoming. Says Bob Ruski. That was cool.
Like that backstage segment with Brian throwing up the too sweet at AJ. He's like, it's what about, right, brother?
Yeah, that
So
was that was nice. That was a good segment. The Miz and Rey Mysterio match was good, but other than that, I thought SmackDown was all about Crown Jewel.
yeah, I mean it was, and that even that match right there was a part of Crown Jewel, and so was the main event tonight because all four guys are all going to be involved in it for SmackDown. So we seen Miz and Ray, which I guess maybe it's nostalgia. Here we go again with the nostalgia word like we got from Raw, but I
Gonna
really enjoy watching Ray wrestle on SmackDown again, and just wrestle in general in WWE. I just enjoy it.
England. That's funny. I just yeah, it is what it is. What do you think of the attack from Becky Lynch on Charlotte?
I thought it was fun. I thought it was a cool little thing they did. I don't know if this was on Facebook Live or anything, but that would have been a cool idea to have this posted on there. But I mean, that was cool that they showed the whole thing, and wasn't interest. I didn't like everyone said. Someone said in the chat didn't really care to see Shayna standing there because it was kind of odd when she's wrestling at the pay per view too, but she's sitting there talking like, "Oh, let me take in the wisdom from Charlotte." It's like it's just weird.
Hey Charlotte, what? How was it like transitioning from NXT to Raw to SmackDown?
Nice, Jesus Christ, really? First time in a long time, Raw was better this week than SmackDown Live. Yeah, I agree with you.
See, I don't know. I mean, if you're saying for the Roman thing and then maybe for the heel turn of Dean, but I think SmackDown really delivered on a really solid main event and a good match with Ray and Miz.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. So, what would you give SmackDown tonight as a rating?
Um, it's hard to compare because everyone's gonna say that Dean Ambrose thing was so big, but I guess I'll give it a 3. I'll say Raw was better, but to
Yeah.
me, I enjoyed sitting here, enjoyed watching SmackDown tonight because it was some good wrestling, and I enjoyed it. I think that's what Fox would have wanted too, what they got in that main event.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I would give SmackDown 2.5, man. 2.5. Wasn't that great for me tonight. I didn't really. I just thought it could have been better, and kind of getting sick and tired of the crown jewel crap. So can't wait for that to end very, very soon. Um, so
Next
yeah,
week,
yeah,
another
next
week of
week.
it.
Yeah, next week. So don't forget, everybody, we won't be live Thursday night, but we will be live tweeting tomorrow night for NXT 205 Live, the Mae Young Classic, all of that. So don't forget about that. Was the New Day's
Okay,
beatdown Vince's way of answering Fox's request?
I know. I was thinking
uh,
that Fox
Pittsburgh show.
approves of
That's
it.
pretty funny that you mentioned that. That could be very true right there. Um, so there's no Thursday night show. So Impact Wrestling 205 Live, NXT, and Mae Young Classic Talk will all go down on Saturday. Don't forget, we will go live a little bit early on Saturday because our shows will probably go a little bit longer than usual since our shows are going to be a little bit more action packed now since we'll have more to talk about other than the rumor mill. But we will also go over the rumors on Saturday. We'll also touch on WWE Evolution, given our predictions for Sunday night, and go over 205 Live, Impact, and the Mae Young Classic and NXT. Don't forget, everybody, if you haven't already and you're new to the show, please hit that follow button here on Periscope. We go live Tuesdays and Saturdays, so we hope everybody can join us every night we're live. If you're not, please check out the replays. We'd really appreciate that. And if not, everybody, please jump over on the YouTube, Get the Tables podcast. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers. I would really appreciate you guys jumping over to there and subscribing to our channel. Would really appreciate that. We had over like 4 or 5 viewers pretty much constantly throughout tonight on YouTube. So I appreciate everybody joining there and lurking. Not too much chatting on YouTube, more lurking. So we do appreciate everybody on there and everybody on Periscope in here interacting with us, chatting with us, giving us super hearts, sharing the product, sharing us on Twitter, hitting those hearts in the chat room. Those are very much appreciated. We can't thank you guys enough for the amount of support and just everything you guys do for us. It's just amazing. And it means a lot to us. We appreciate you guys coming in here on a late Tuesday night and talking wrestling and chit chatting with us, and also on Saturday night as well. We hope everybody has a great week. Don't forget, we won't be live with you guys on Thursday. So we hope everybody has a great Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday jumping into that weekend. And we hope your Saturday, you can end your Saturday night with us, getting you ready for WWE Evolution and any other wrestling rumors and news going around town as well. So Alex will be joining us on Saturday as well. So it'll be a 3-man booth. Sorry, Justin couldn't get in with us. His stuff is still messing up. Hopefully, next month he'll be able to get that during the Black Friday sales and stuff. He's looking for a new computer. So anything else, Dave, you want to touch on before we end tonight's show? Before I do the usual shout outs to everybody who came in tonight.
Also, we have NXT UK tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern, so if you can check that out, which I plan on watching that. Tony, did you ever catch the UK from last week?
Yes, it was a really good show. I'm not going to be able to check the one when it comes on live, but I will definitely check it out during the weekend and before we do our Saturday night show to touch on it.
I mean, what did you think of that whole show?
I loved it. I'm very interested in it, and I hope they continue it and see what we go from there. It's going to be very interesting to see who they bring into that UK scene. It's not late here in
Wide open.
Australia. 2:30. Oh, it's 2:30 in the afternoon in Australia. Wow, interesting. That's crazy. But yeah, I don't think we have anything else to say. But thank you, Roman. God bless the Roman. Prayers to Roman. It's going to be a tough ride for him. Tough battle. But I think with everybody's support and prayer or whatever have you want to do to him, I think he'll work out and we'll see him in a WWE ring again, hopefully. Because I hope not that the photo you see right up here. I'm sorry, right here with Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose is not the last one you see with them ever again, because it could happen, guys. This could be the last time we see Roman Reigns ever in a WWE ring. So sending the best of wishes, everybody. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter. Our little Twitter icons are over in the corner right over here. So we'd really appreciate that over there. Thank you, England JT, for popping in here. A big supporter of the show. He also has a Twitch. Follow him over on Twitch. Kevin, Jeffrey Cross, Alice, Adam Awesome, Budweiser, Bob Aruski. Thank you for monitoring the chat room tonight, my friend. Getting rid of all the porn bots. Mitch, Ted, England JT, Mads Fan, Brad Lucas, Jody, Bliss, Spees, Dr. Huge, Dave Dyer, Juanito, Jeffrey Cross. Thank you for those super hearts. Okay, you're sounding like Michael Cole now, don't it? But yeah, best of luck to Roman. Yeah. But thank you guys for joining us tonight. Appreciate everybody's support. You guys are awesome. If you guys, I guess the mods are sleeping with the bots. I think Bob Ruski, man, he was on it tonight. So thank you for Bob Ruski getting all those trolls out of there and getting everything out of there. So appreciate your hard work.
Next thing Tony's going to start saying is, guys, it's boss time.
It's boss time, everybody. No, what's another thing that Michael Cole says a lot? God damn it. There's other things he says. We got to think of it. Nostalgia. The nostalgia of Crown Jewel. Oh, God. I just can't wait for that Crown Jewel pay-per-view to be over with. All right, everybody. Thank you guys so much for the support. If you haven't already, again, please follow us. Please subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter. We'll be back with you guys on Saturday. Have a great rest of your week. Kick its ass. Have a great night. Love you all. Y'all are so good to us. We're going to end you with some interesting music I think all of you guys will enjoy. Y'all guys have a great night. Thank you, BJ, for those kind words. Shout out to you. Tony will be plugging the network. There you go. Tony, there you go. $9.99 WWE Network. There you go. Hey,
Trending #1 worldwide.
I don't know if any of you guys, thank you, BJ, Cafe Buccelli. Thank you for coming in here, dude. I gotta look for the email, but I got an email from the WWE Network. It was like a survey, and they touched on the tiers. It was in the survey. So if I can find that email, if I can find that email, I'm gonna try to bring it up, and we could touch on the survey before. We did it before. I got a survey from the network before, and we did it on live. We did it on a show, so we'll do it again this Saturday night. So I hope you guys can join us. If you guys have any topics or stuff like that you guys want us to touch on Saturday night, hit us up on Twitter, and we'll do that for you guys. Try to bring some more topics onto the show. It's going to be a very heavy Saturday night show. Lots to talk about. And then don't forget, we'll be live with you guys on Sunday night. So we'll be technically live with you 3 times this week, just not on Thursday. So thank you again, guys, for the support. We're going to end your night with some Dean Ambrose. And you guys have a great night. And thank you so damn much for the support. Y'all guys are so damn awesome. See you guys on Saturday.